Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's talk about it. Come on in, everybody. Happy look, Monday. You guys know we came to you earlier. Look, I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes for everybody to come on in. Come on in. Let's talk about it. We're on we're on Twitter as well as YouTube. Everybody come on in. I'm gonna wait for a second for everybody to tap in, man. Look, we got big time breaking news and it's straight up go time. I had to actually go live for this because right now it is straight up go time, and this is important. This is very important. We got to talk about it because now USC officially has their quarterback and it's straight up go time. So come on in. I'm gonna wait for a second. I am going to I know I didn't announce this, but I'm going to invite some people in, those who want to come in, those who want to tap in with me. And we want to talk about Miller Moss officially becoming the USC quarterback. He is named QB1 by the USC football coach, Lincoln Riley, and it's straight up go time, man. So come on in, everybody. I'm going to put a link in there. We're going to talk about this. Look, it had to be done. I talked to you guys earlier, did a video earlier, and look, it is official now. I told you guys that this is mock game week, and I told you the quarterback decision had to be announced today. And now we see that it's straight up here. We're going to get into this. We'll talk about it because this is very important. And let me just real quick, let me salute Miller Moss. Look, Miller Moss has came a long ways. He's waited 3 years for this to happen. He waited his turn. We can even get into the Malachi thing. Malachi left because he understood what Miller Moss was. He understood that Miller Moss was that guy. And, he didn't necessarily want to be there with that. But salute to Malachi. We wish him the best. But now we see a guy that really stuck it out, a guy that weathered the storm. He even had to weather another storm with a guy like Jaden Mayava. And look, it's straight up go time, man. So I got a big salute to him. I'm going to open this chat up. I'm going to open this lineup for those who want to come on in. So look, you guys tap in with me. Let me know. Let me put this link in here real quick. Make sure I get it in here real quick. Let's see. All right, there we go. I can only do one at a time. You don't have to put your camera on if you want to come in and talk about Miller Moss being the quarterback, how he deserved it, how he had his opportunity. USC has seen several battles like this. I can only do one at a time, though. Those who want to tap in, come on in. The StreamYard link is there. But look, we've been through these quarterback battles. We've been through Sam Donald with Max Brown. We've been through. We can go countless. Whether it's John David Booty, we can go on and on and on down the line as it relates to the quarterback situation, man. But I want to hear from you guys today. I want you guys to tap in with me. I want to know how you guys feel about this. And I think, Miller's whole family, you guys know Miller is a local guy. And Miller is a guy that absolutely, we can say this for sure, Miller absolutely loves USC. He loves USC to the core. He loves everything that USC represents. And I think it's only fitting that Lincoln Riley named him the quarterback today. Look, I was kind of dreading it this week. When I talked about it earlier today, I said he has to name him the quarterback today, just given the fact that, look, it's mock game week. You're going through all the preparations this week as if it's a game. You're going through everything. You're going to practice. You're going to take the most reps this week. You're going to take all the QB1 reps. You're going to facilitate this whole thing. And so now you want to be able to get in place. You're going to stay in the hotel this weekend, I believe, when it's mock game week. So this is what we wanted right here. So look, man, you guys tap in. Those who wanted to come on, I just did a spur of the moment thing. The StreamYard link is in the chat. Hit me in the comments. But let's talk about what Miller Moss did. We know that Miller Moss on the year, last year, he only had 600 and some yards. But you guys know, we seen what Chicago Bears did the other day with Caleb Williams. He had one of the most phenomenal guys, that he was sitting behind. And I think I could even remember when Miller said that, I'm basically, if it was anybody else, this is not verbatim, but this is kind of what he alluded to when somebody asked him about how was it sitting behind Caleb Williams. He said that, look, if it was anybody else, I'm going to tap in with all these comments. Shout out to my brother. Hey, if it was anybody else other than Caleb, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be, this patient. But not only was it Lincoln Riley, the best quarterback guru around, but it was also a guy like, Caleb Williams that he was able to move and groove. And now Miller has his opportunities. And look, man, hey, I think the best is yet to come with this football team. And we know that during the Louisville game, that one of the things that we talked about with the Louisville game was that what Jacoby Covington said. He said, we're a team now. We're a team now. And listen, I could have shed a tear. No joke. I could have shed a tear when I heard him say that, because it was like all of everybody was overjoyed. And not only that, it was like, where has this been all year? It was, you could feel the energy. And I believe that part of that was all surrounded around a guy like Miller Moss. He helped unite that team together. He helped bring that team together as a family, and it was straight up go time. And I'm so excited about what I'm hearing now about this team. And I even seen Jacoby Lane. It looked like he petitioned. Now, it wasn't his decision, but of course, it looked like he had like a small petition, with as it relates to Miller Moss. He put a picture up, and he said he put a picture up with just him and Miller Moss. Unbelievable picture. But look, man, you guys drop those comments, man. Those who want to come on, you hit me in that link right here, and I'm going to get into these comments, man, because right now we're going to make this about you guys. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on Miller Moss. And you don't have to put the camera on. You can put the camera off if you want to tap in. And there it is right there. I got to keep putting it. I need to pin this thing. I need to pin that comment. Let me see if I can pin this comment so you guys can get this real quick. Let's see. No, I can't pin that on here. I've never pinned it on here. But anyway, I need to pin that StreamYard link so those who want to come on can come on and talk about Miller Moss. But I'm excited, and I'm excited about the rally. Let me go up, rally around him, and get to these questions. Let's go. Let's go. James Booker, what's up, man? What's up, family? Jaquay Smith, what's the word, bro? It's straight up go time. Rashad, it's straight up go time. Britton, you absolutely right, bro. It's 2 weeks away. Now Miller gets the 4 reps. He gets to get out there and move and groove. And listen, he doesn't have to, I don't think he has to look behind his shoulders right now. I think he could get out there and move and groove and just be relaxed and just play like you played in Louisville. That's one of the things that I said. If we could just establish ourselves like the way we did against Louisville, I really believe with all my heart that this team is going to be explosive. Who else could start? Who else could start? Man, he says, can you believe somebody said I'm lost in the sauce? Miller is the starting quarterback. I'm on live, bro. What is you talking about? He says I'm lost in the sauce. He got the nerve. Hey, but look, man. Hey. Oh, man, anyway. Yeah, he says I'm lost in the sauce. With no camera. Let me send a link to some people real quick, because there's some people texting me real quick, and I got to send a link to them real quick. Because we really want to talk about this. We really want to here we go, copy link. Okay. So look, man, hey, you guys tap in with me and get on without the camera. Yeah. So, man, tap in with me, man. Those who want to tap in, man. There are a bunch of comments. Let me get through these comments real quick. Hey, what's up, family? What's up, man? Hector, how you doing, brother? Fight on, man. Jaquay, fight on. Fred, what's the word? So, look, man, what you guys think about Miller, man? What Miller did in the bowl game, you know, he set multiple records. He set a Holiday Bowl record. He set a bowl game record. And we know that Miller Moss, that game, he kind of went crazy. He went for 23 for 33, 372 yards, 6 TDs, 1 INT. So, look, he was very efficient. And, what's very important with this is, one is he knows Lincoln Riley's offense. Lincoln Riley's offense is, I'm not going to say it's not the easiest offense to learn, but you got to learn all the ins and outs. and not that we're expecting him to do this, but you saw with Caleb, where every now and then, periodically, he would go and change the play. We don't want Miller to do that because I like the way Miller was doing. I like when he looked over to the sideline, got the play, and he executed the play. That was totally different from what, Caleb was doing. Caleb, he was in the offense for 2 years and ran it. So Caleb was able to, he was able to audible it. He was able to move and groove. And as a result, I think, he was able to do all the changing. But the way Miller ran it, Miller would look to the sideline and he was getting the ball off in less than 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I mean, Miller was absolutely getting that ball off. And so if Miller could play like that, if Miller could be efficient like that and be able to get the ball off just like he did against Louisville, USC will be in some incredible shape, man. Frank, absolutely. It's Miller time, man. You guys hit me with those thoughts, man. What are you guys' thoughts on this Miller Moss thing? Absolutely, Jeremy, it's Miller time. Bobby, let's go. Never a doubt. It's Miller time. Yeah, absolutely. Fight on. Fight on, Steve. Fight on. I trust Coach. Hey, we all trust Coach Riley. And what is, speaking of trusting Coach Riley, how's everybody looking now? Because we talked about, there were so many people when I did the Malachi. Now, here's something I'm going to tell you guys. I saw, and you guys know, I'm not about bashing players, and I keep certain things to myself. But I saw some things in some practice footage last year, and I saw a couple of interceptions, but I never brought them up. I did not want to bring those things up. And so I understood that it was a struggle there. It was a struggle with learning the offense for Malachi, I think. And it was, just getting acclimated to the college football system. And apparently, that struggle still continues. But look, here it is. I wish Malachi the best. I'm not here bashing him. And I saw a lot of people. There were some people yesterday kind of laughing. But look, how many people have actually had the opportunity to play college football and was able to be on scholarship to play college football? You know what I mean? So, look, man, it is what it is. Let me get on this. I got a guest here. Let me take this first answer. This is Dan. Dan, what's the word?
What's going on?
Oh, man, tell that baby to fight on. Fight on.
So fight on.
Hey, we're talking about Miller. We're talking about Miller Moss, man. And Miller Moss is officially now named the QB, man. What are your thoughts on Miller Moss? And just to kind of confirm, I think I talked to you last year. We got a twofold question. I want to know what you think about Miller Moss, and then I want to know what you think about Malachi, because you remember, I think I inboxed you and said, man, I got film. It's not looking good. You can kind of be my witness to that. What are your thoughts on those two things?
Yeah, I remember he was saying Malachi wasn't looking good during his practice, and he looked very average during spring camp. And I was like, man, let's see, because it's his first time in college and all that. And I thought sitting for a year, he'll be good. And then obviously during practice, Miller Moss was probably giving him work. So I thought he would stay because Miller's only here for I think a year, and he would have had another year to sit. But these 5 stars, they want to play immediately, and this is probably a lesson to all the 5 stars. You can't just jump around thinking you can go anywhere and play because you're 5-star. He probably thought he went to Boise State and he was a man, but Boise State, over the years they have players, so you still have to compete. You can't just show up and just be handed the job.
Absolutely, man. So, and I totally agree with you. But so, what are your thoughts also on Miller Moss now? Miller Moss paid his dues, and for those who want to come on, you see he doesn't have his camera. You could do that same option. Don't hit the camera and just put your voice on. I put the StreamYard link in the chat. What are your thoughts on Miller Moss now? He earned it. What are your thoughts on him?
Oh, I mean, yeah, he's a man. As you know, I really wasn't believing him last year because until I really saw him on the field. But after that game, 6 touchdowns, I was like, yeah, he's a truth. I mean, people are doubting him because it was one game, but I think he's gonna light the Big Ten up, and I think he's gonna be I think Lincoln Riley's gonna get him to be a first round pick. I think if he plays like he did for most of the season at bowl game, he's definitely gonna be a first round draft pick. I'm not saying he's going 1, 2, or 3, but he definitely has first round talent if he plays like he did, or at least consistently. I mean, he doesn't have to score 6 touchdowns every game, but just his accuracy and avoiding the sack and just getting that ball out quick, man.
Hey, I totally agree with you. And I think the question we got to all ask, how many quarterbacks that we could honestly say in the Big Ten that's better than Miller Moss right now? How many would you say?
You can count them on your hand, man. I mean, maybe Oregon's quarterback has a talent. I mean, I don't know.
I would put Oregon quarterback up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Oregon, because the Oregon quarterback he's probably on the same caliber, he's level, because we've seen him play. Dylan Raiola, we haven't seen him play in Nebraska. So, I mean.
Right. Will Howard, that Will Howard thing, I wasn't one of those who was
big. I forgot about him.
Yeah, I wasn't, Will Howard only threw for like 2,600 yards last year. I wasn't just real big on Will Howard like a lot of people were. Though I thought he was very serviceable. I thought he was good. I liked his size, being what he's 6'5", 240, whatever that is. But as far as just 2,600 yards, I mean, I think the only way he got that position, if I'm not mistaken, somebody could correct me, was a guy got hurt and he was essentially a backup.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to Will Howard much until the transfer portal stuff came up. So I wasn't really watching him much at Kansas State last year until USC became a part of his transfer portal stuff. But I mean, he's another one. He has game experience. So I'm gonna put all the quarterbacks with game experience to have a chance. But we haven't seen. Is his brother still at Maryland? I don't know, because I know he was balling last year. I don't know if he's
no, he's gone. He's gone. So
okay.
Yeah, man. But brother, I definitely appreciate you, man. I got another caller coming up. But hey, man, this all you got to do, man. You be lost in the sauce.
I have one question for you, real quick. What do you think? I was thinking, since all these players are getting paid now, don't you think college football should allow some kind of preseason game instead of having these big games? Like instead of how these inter squad, these big games starting the year, like how the NFL has these inter squad games, like say USC or Ohio State, they play the local like an Akron or something.
I got you.
Like an inter squad practice, so they can just see what they really look like before a real game. Something like they should allow something like that.
I think it'd benefit the HBCU. More than anything. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, to really get something going like that. And college football is expanding. They moving so close to like all things close to the NFL. Due to the NIL and due to how they're moving and operating right now. So they're looking at a possible revenue sharing. So talking about some caps and all these different stuff. So I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Right. Yeah, I'd love to see USC do like an inter squad game against practice against like San Jose State. They come down to Coliseum, not nothing official, just like practice, and just so the quarterback can see other people. Because when you playing the same people, it gets repetitive. That's why the NFL has these inter squad games, because you see somebody else who actually wants to hit you.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna take these other calls, but man, I appreciate you coming on, man, and much love to you, bro. Tell the baby to fight on.
Fight on.
All right, big dog. Take it easy. Stevie, how you doing, man?
I'm good, USCJ. How are you, buddy?
Man, I'm good. Doug, if you would just hold on tight for a minute, let me talk to Stevie real quick, and we'll include you in here in just a second. But Stevie, talk to me about Miller Moss, man.
I'll make it quick. Jay, you hit the nail on the head when you said he knows the system. He's a Trojan through and through. He bleeds Cardinal and gold.
Absolutely.
He's got amazing receivers. I mean, Lincoln Riley, this whole pyramid has basically just set up to have Miller Moss succeed. You got new coaches helping out. I just wish we had more time to watch Miller Moss on the field. We're only going to get to see him this season. It's a shame we're only going to he's amazing talent. So
I totally agree.
I'm so glad he hung in there, brother. And it has the making of a real amazing story.
Hey, it does. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought I heard somebody say that he might have another year. I didn't think he did initially, but he might have another year, which would be crazy. But here's the dream story. I think that'd be perfect. Miller Moss coming from where he comes from, family there, waited his couple years, and then gets in there, man. I think it'd be straight up go time for Miller, man. So I'm going to take a couple of these other calls, but I definitely appreciate you coming in.
Right on, Jay. Thanks, brother, for all the info.
Hey, fight on, my man. Eddie.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
Doing well. How's it going over there?
Man, everything is good, man. talk to me. I know you're a Miller guy, man. You put up the Miller. I think somebody put up the Miller time sign, man. But what's your thoughts, man? Miller is the man now.
I think the offense will actually take a step forward this year. You'll run Lincoln Riley's offense. With the number of wide receivers they have that are real young, and you got a couple different versions of wide receivers, right? You got guys who can burn it down the field. You got big guys. You got small guys. You got all sorts of flavors there, and I think this team will be a little more unselfish because these guys all came up together. The core of the wide receiver group came up together. You got Hudson, who I don't know if people remember, but Miller Moss was at Mater Dei for about 6 months.
Right.
He transferred to Mater Dei, and then COVID. He transferred back out when there wasn't going to be a season, so he knows Hudson really well. He played with him on a team for 6 months before they got to USC, and all these wide receivers were second team, scout team guys. So they've been playing with Miller for a whole year before this year. So he's a lot faster than people think. I think sometimes people forget that Baker Mayfield might have been the quarterback to use Lincoln Riley's offense the best, and
right.
I think there's a in modern day football especially when you go to spread offenses, I think there's kind of like a prejudice against like the white quarterback running that kind of offense, but Miller has enough wheels where he can make the read option work.
Miller's he's not unathletic by any means necessary.
And I'm excited about this defense. Running a 2-4, a 2-4-5, I think is gonna be really good for USC. So you're gonna only really need Bear to have one guy next to him, and then we're gonna have a lot. The one thing that USC has a lot of is edge rushers. So it's gonna give the team a better flexibility to be able to. Last year you had to have 3 down linemen. This year you only need 2. And the defense, I think, is a lot more aggressive, and it's going to be that Baltimore style where you blitz it from all over the place. You might only be bringing 3 or 4, but they're coming from every different spot, every play. So the offensive line will have a little bit more confusion going into it. So I'm excited. I think they'll beat LSU. We'll see what happens with Michigan, but I see the team making the playoffs, winning at least 10 games.
Absolutely, man. I totally agree with you, Eddie. I thank you for taking out the time, man. Really appreciate you coming in. I'm gonna take a couple of more of these calls, but hey, you made excellent points on all fronts, man. So I definitely appreciate you, my man.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for being a long-time member too, man. Really appreciate you, Eddie.
Everyone needs to sign up.
Absolutely. All right, Eddie, fight on, my man. Doug, how you doing, man? Doug, are you there?
Hello.
Doug, how you doing?
I'm here. How are you, boss?
All right. Hey, Brian Jenkins, if you watching,
I'm working a little bit, but I'm doing great.
No, you're good. You're good. How's everything going, Doug? Brian, hold on for 1 second.
All right.
Yeah. So tell me about Miller.
Everything's going great.
What's your thoughts on Miller Moss, Doug?
I think Moss is going to. That bowl game against Louisville was just seen. And from what I've read in the spring and into all through, they're loaded.
Awesome. You're breaking up kind of bad, Doug. I can barely hear you, man. I kind of heard you in bits and pieces, but I kind of heard you say about the bowl game, and I totally agree with that, man.
We're going to be good.
Absolutely. I totally
be good.
agree.
So,
totally agree. Well, look, Doug, I definitely appreciate you coming in. Your audio is a little bit choppy. I can't hear you that much, but you kind of broke off anyway. Big B, what's the word?
Hey, what's good with you, man? Fight on.
Fight on, man. Fight on. What you think, man? It's Miller time.
Hey, I think it's a great opportunity for Miller. He's put in the work. He's invested his time. I think it's good that we have a solid backup in Miami, but Miller really loves USC, and he's the epitome, the embodiment of what it means to be a Trojan. So, contrary to popular belief, a lot of kids, NIL is good, but that's not their sole purpose for being in school. So anytime you have a kid like Miller Moss who's willing to stick it out and really learn about a coach like Riley, it speaks volume to his character. So You know, a lot of kids will chase that bag, going somewhere else, and end up sitting on the bench. Unfortunately for Malachi, you know, that ended up being his situation. So, and I believe he was getting the NIL when he was at SC, right?
Yeah, I think he got, if I'm not mistaken, it was a big NIL. And if I'm not
Right,
mistaken, he got, I thought I heard a report that said 500,000 or something like that at Boise State.
Yeah,
So
so he ended up leaving it. I believe you alluded to one time, you know, just because you're getting that money now, it may not benefit you in the long run. So that's just a temporary fix for your situation. I don't know what the situation is, and I can't count anybody's pockets, and I definitely can't tell them whether or not, you know, they should take some money. But anytime you have an opportunity, the like you have underneath Raleigh, you know, you get, sometimes you have to put that aside and, you know, and struggle or suffer through whatever consequences or whatever, you know, circumstances you might be having right now to benefit you, you know, 4 or 5 years down the line. You know, that could turn into something possibly, you know, that'll be a lot bigger than that 500,000. So a lot of these kids have to keep that in mind as well.
no, I totally agree. It's almost like it doesn't even exist anymore. Like with individuals just staying, persevering. You know, like anytime we go through any type of challenge in life, man, it really teaches us to get to the next level. One level teaches us to get to this level. Another level teaches us to get to this level. Guys don't even want to, you know, blood, sweat, and tears. And Miller, he probably did the crime. I think I heard a report where he was actually he was getting interviewed and he was just talking about it didn't feel good, you know. But it's that part that where growth actually kicks in that a lot of people, they run from that part. Most people don't recognize the growth and associated with the pain is associated with growth. But people got to understand that that's how you grow. Miller is that prime example of how growth takes place, man.
Oh, most definitely. Like I was saying before, a lot of times, you know, that quick dollar may not be more beneficial than learning up under somebody like a Lincoln Riley. You know, Riley is proven where he had 3 #1 draft picks and 3 Heisman winners. That Heisman, you know, winner was benefiting Caleb before he went to the NFL. You understand what I'm saying? You know, when he won that Heisman, his sophomore year going into his junior year, he was already, you know, pocketing, I'm sure, way more than 500,000 that, you know, a lot of these kids are getting to go to these schools. So if you're any quarterback, top quarterback, and you're looking to go to a university, you would definitely have to put Raleigh at the top of your checklist when you're considering a school.
Absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree with you, man. And I think the fact that one of the things that I was really worried about, and for those who want to come on, I'll put that StreamYard link in there. One of the things that I was really concerned about in the event that Miller didn't get this job, my thing was I felt like it could have essentially destroyed the locker room to an extent, just given the fact that, you know, he kind of won the team over, especially during the Holiday Bowl. He waited his chance. Now, if anything were to happen, you know, you could say that he was given a fair chance. And so I think it's done the right way, man. You know, I'm kind of happy the way this thing really went.
Yeah, I'm happy for him too. Like I said, it's always good to have a solid backup plan like you have with Jaden Maeva. Miller has put in his time. I think he did an exceptional job in the bowl game. However, at the end of the day, Riley still has a job to do. You know, I trust his judgment. Now, if this was any other position outside of quarterback, I'd be like, you know, if it came down to the wire, who was really better? You know, do you just go off of seniority? And then it turns into that whole situation that we had with Max Brown and Sam Darnold, you know, back in, what was it, 2016? So but you don't want to turn it into that. Go ahead.
The difference with that situation, the same way you remember they brought in Jalen Hurts. Who was that they had in? They had a quarterback from California, right? I can't remember his name.
Yeah. They had Jalen Hurts and they had, what was that kid's name? He was a statue back there.
He was from California. But the coach, Nick Saban, recognized it and he brought him in, Jalen Hurts. And once he brought Jalen Hurts and he was able to run like that, it was over. It was everything changed.
It kind of fit. And I want to say Kiffin was the OC for that game, wasn't he?
That's right, Blake Barnett. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
think so. Kiffin was the OC for the game. So they kind of fit that scheme that, you know, Kiffin was trying to incorporate. You have to remember, before Kiffin got to Alabama, they wasn't running no offense like that. They was
No,
pretty
it was
much
crazy.
tight end and running
Yeah.
back. They may have thrown the ball 15 times a game.
Yeah.
Kiffin and Sark really opened up Saban's eyes to that whole hurry up offense that spread them out. They really opened up Saban's eyes to that. They wasn't
Absolutely.
interested in running that, running an offense like that. So, and with that came, a lot of our talent. A lot of the talent left out of California, headed
Oh,
to
man.
Alabama, headed to Georgia,
Yeah.
because they saw the opportunities at receiver, at quarterback. Okay, now they're going to open it up. Okay, let me go there. Prior to that, Alabama had game managers. So, your personnel is very important. Recruiting is very important when
Absolutely.
it comes to running those different schemes. But again, now I would say Moss is more of a traditional pocket passer than what Riley is used to having. He's not that
Absolutely.
mobile. Now, I do think that Marva will have certain packages for him.
I do too.
Just like the other kid had in the bowl game when what was it, like 4th and 2,
Yeah.
and he brought in somebody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he
Great point.
brought in, what was it? What was
Jensen.
his name?
Jensen.
He brought him in because he's a bigger quarterback, and he was able to run, that play specifically designed to get that, to pick up those 2 yards. So I'm glad that, Miller Moss is given the opportunity right now. Like you said, he has the locker room. But again, at the end of the day, I think Maeva is a good talent. I think he's a bigger version, not as gifted as Caleb, but he's a bigger version of Caleb. And if push comes to shove, I don't think that Riley will hesitate to bring that kid in.
I don't, and he's proven that with the pass. You're talking about with Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams.
Right,
we saw what he
right.
did. It was the Caleb show from that point on. And but one of the things that I do realize with Miller Moss, even though and I stated this before, even though he's not as athletic as Caleb Williams, he can't rely on the athleticism that Caleb Williams has. So he absolutely used that football IQ, and he got rid of that ball so quick. There were so many people that said, "Oh, our offensive line is bad, this and that." But look, I couldn't tell in the Holiday Bowl because the way Miller Moss got rid of the ball, I mean, he was getting rid of the ball. He was getting his checkdowns so quick in his reads. It was like, what happened to the offensive line?
Yeah. He stood in that pocket. He went with his check down, like you said. He didn't really press the issue. He had one bad throw that I can remember that he threw it behind the receiver and the kid picked it off. But going back to that whole Riley bench, you have to remember one game in Oklahoma, Riley benched Caleb. I think they were playing Kansas State. I want to say it was Kansas State, and he wasn't having that great of a game, and he put Spencer Rattler back in that game. So again, I have to tip my hat to Riley, man. He is willing to make changes on the offense. He's a little, lackluster on the defensive side, but once, they put his feet to the fire, he did what he had to do. So I'm excited for that LSU game. I think we're going to do a lot better than a lot what these pundits are giving Riley credit for, especially that other guy. I'm not going to mention his name on your show, but you know who I'm talking to. He's out of SEC country down here where I'm from. So, I'm not going to mention his name on your show, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely great. Yeah, but the thing about it, I think he's going to eat pie. Matter of fact, I said in the video today, I said, I hope everybody get pies in their hand because he's going to have pie all on his face. I can guarantee you that.
I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see the offense under Miller Moss, but I'm more excited to see what this defense is going to look like.
Bro,
that's what I want to see.
From what I understand, the defense is looking very strong right now, man. I think a lot of people will be excited. And I even heard a podcast today, LSU, a couple podcasts that still kind of rip the defensive line, but I don't think they understand the personnel has been upgraded a little bit as far as when you talk about the weights and of course the coaches. You couple that with, man, it's gonna be straight up go time.
Yeah, that's secondary. I'm interested because we've gotten longer in the secondary at the corner position.
Absolutely.
And then when you implement a physical safety like Ramsey out of UCLA, Jalen Smith is a monster. Then you bring in, which I think he should start, but then you bring in somebody experienced like a Greedy Vance. And like I said, those corners are 6'2", 6'3". with
6'3",
Humphreys
and then Nicholson 6'4",
and Nicholson. So
yeah,
I think Lynn and what's the safety? What's the DB's coach name? Is
Doug
slipping my
Bell,
mind right now.
Doug
Doug
Bell,
Bell. I think they're
yeah,
gonna play a lot of press man on the outside with that length
absolutely.
and the
And then they're gonna
athleticism
stack
and
the
allow
box at times.
right and stack the box and allow
Yeah,
those linebackers to get downhill and get into that backfield. So I think that's what's going to happen. But I'm excited to see that. I got us pick the to beat LSU. So you're hearing it from me now. I think we're gonna beat LSU. I think it's gonna be by at least 10.
hey man, I kind of feel the same way. I think I had a score. It just came up in my mind today. This might not be my final score, but I think I said it popped in my mind like this: 41-28. I can see that score being going. Yeah, I can see that score going like that. 41-28. What's your prediction on the season? I said 10-2.
10-2. Truthfully, the only games I see giving us problems is going to be probably at Michigan we might have an issue with, and it'll be one of those away games like maybe at Maryland.
Well,
I think those are only two. I think we're going to have problems with at Michigan and at Maryland.
And at Maryland, Maryland's a good team. You know, another trap game that I thought about was that a lot of people I don't think they realized was I watched them play last year was Rutgers. I watched Rutgers play against Ohio State. Did you see them play against Ohio State last year?
Is Rutgers at home or is it on the road?
It's at home, but I'm not saying they'll beat us. But I'm just saying that they're one of those teams I feel like could kind of be a trap game if we overlook them and just think about it.
Yeah.
A team like Rutgers.
I would agree with that if it was on the road because they remind me so much of Boston College. And I remember year we lost at Boston College. Who was the coach that year we lost at Boston College? Was it Sark?
No. It was
Was it Kiffin?
It was that guy.
I want to say it was Sark. It was Kiffin. It was Sark, right? It was Sark, right?
No, it was Sark. It was yeah. My mind went on me. Was it Sark?
I want to say it was Sark.
No, it was Kiffin.
It was Kiffin.
It was Sark. No, my bad. It was Sark. It was Sark.
It was Sark. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, so a team like Rutgers remind me of that Boston College team if we were on the road. The only reason why I'm saying Maryland is because that coach comes from the SEC coaching tree, and he has a pretty good pedigree when it comes to defense. Now they lost two of his brothers due to eligibility, but I think those are going to be the two toughest games. The two games that I'm really worried about: Michigan and the Big and Maryland.
Yeah. And no issues with Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame is going to be a problem like they were last year.
You have to remember we had Notre Dame handled last year. And out there in South Bend, we just stopped running the ball because the defense actually played a pretty good game that game.
The defense was playing very well.
Yeah. We just stopped running the ball.
Yeah, and I think they kind of figured out some of the tendencies from Caleb because if you notice, every time he tried to get out the pocket, it was like they were right there. And then it seemed like they studied his tendencies a little bit. Something was weird.
I tell you what I saw the tendencies they probably studied. They watched that Arizona tape.
There you go.
Arizona and they played those DBs, but it's kind of like they did an umbrella and kept everything underneath.
Yes.
And kept a spy on Caleb. They made him sit in their pocket. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of defensive coordinators took, a piece of that and implemented their own. But Arizona really played us tough. And truthfully, we could have lost that game.
Oh my God.
That was a game at home.
Yeah, Caleb finished that out with his legs though. So much props to him. But that whole thing. Yeah, that was that you're right, man. Notre Dame really was similar to Arizona.
So they were similar to Arizona, but the only difference is Notre Dame was more physical at Arizona, and we were on the road. With Arizona, I think that if we were on the road against Arizona, I think we probably would have lost that game.
Man, those receivers, they were giving us the business. I mean, they were.
Oh yeah. What's his name? McMillan,
and then the quarterback, Fajita. Whatever.
He's nice. I like that kid.
I like him a lot, man.
He's nice.
I like him a lot.
He's nice.
I like him a lot, and I think he gives Arizona a chance, even though we don't play him this year. I really think he gives him a chance. Those two guys are coming back. They lost their running back.
Hey, I tell you what, I wish we could have got that receiver. I wish he would have left.
Yeah,
I'll take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's a beast. The running back Coleman was a beast too, though. You know what I mean? He ran hard.
Yeah, but that receiver, when you got a receiver like that, what people don't realize, you can really stretch the field. That's going to open it up, because what's going to happen is you're going to start having the shade that receiver with that safety. And
Absolutely.
Now you're taking a guy out of the box, and now you really opening up that running lane. So if I'm going to get beat, I don't want it to be deep. I don't want it to be deep like that. So, but I know you got to take some other callers, my man. I appreciate you having me on.
No, man,
and I'm looking forward to that first game.
So your final record is what? You got what?
I'm going to say 11-1. I'm going to say 11-1.
I feel you. I'm borderline. I'm 10-2. I'm borderline 11-1 because I really looked all through the schedule. It is kind of hard if you look at the team and you factor.
It's a tough schedule. It's
talking about it's hard to kind of put two losses in there because I'm confident in this team as well. I'm very confident in this team. So I'm saying 10-2 right now. I'm gonna hang with that. But
I think what's leaning in our favor is that Riley's going to have to do his best job of coaching this year from an offensive perspective, because you don't have Caleb. You got, you can't really depend on his gifts or his athleticism anymore, which means that Miller Moss is going to have to really get in that film room, really study that film. He's going to have to really trust his receivers. And most of all, Riley's going to have to trust that running game, because a lot of teams are not going to stack the box on us. They're gonna play that zone the same way they were that they were in that Notre Dame and that Arizona game, hoping that Miller Moss could make some bad decisions. But if he leaned on that running game, throwing some screenplays, throwing some draws, you understand what I'm saying? Do those things like that.
Yeah, and you think we had if you remember the year prior, the year before, in last year, there were some missed opportunities. What you're talking about in the flat. I saw the tight end get open a couple of times, and there were some missed opportunities, but Miller will do that. I think, and that's what I mean by Miller. He didn't even try to rely on any type of athleticism. He did the check down, and whatever he saw that was open, he was just boom, 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 boom. So I think he'll hit them screens. He'll hit the tight ends in the flat, the whole nine.
See, once the defensive coordinator's got film on you, they can prepare for you. That's why they weren't really ready for Caleb that first year, and I think that's what got him the Heisman. That second year, if you notice, he held on to that ball more because he was trying to look for the big play. See, if they know that you're looking for that big play, they're gonna cut those big plays off and force everything to go underneath. And I think that's where Miller Moss would take the opportunity. Hey, if you want to take away this, I want to trust my running back. I'm going to trust my tight end. I'm going to throw it to him. You understand what I'm saying? And whether you realize it or not, if you go 40, if you go 37 for 40 and you're doing a lot of dinking and dunking for 5 yards here, 7 yards here, and you might end up with one, busted coverage where you're able to go over the top. He did with Deuce Robinson. Before you know it, what did Miller Moss end up with? 400 yards in the bowl game?
Yeah, almost 400, but it was a Holiday Bowl record. Yeah.
Holiday Bowl record and 6 touchdowns. But if you go back, if you go back and you look at it, he took what the defense gave him.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Of that one bad pass where he kind of like threw it behind the receiver in the end zone, and the guy picked it. But other than that, he took the defense gave him. And I think that's what won him the job.
And with that, I think that it might have been a miscommunication on that, because Miller almost looked shocked you remember when it almost looked like it was some kind of communication issue. But I totally agree with you, man. But I definitely appreciate you coming in, man. Your football IQ is on point, man. Anytime we do live, tap in with me, man.
Most definitely will, my man. Fight on, all right?
All right, big dog. Fight on, man. Fight on.
All right, fight on.
Hey, so look, man, I put the StreamYard link in there, so we appreciate. Look, we've had several individuals come in. We talking about Miller Moss, man. The StreamYard link is in there. You could come in with your camera on or with your camera off. You see it there. It should be in the chat. Where did I put that? Okay, there it is. You see me, Lost in the Sauce podcast. All you got to do is click on that StreamYard link, and you can come in. I'm only taking one at a time. Kamasi, what's up, family? What's up, big dog? Shout out to my guy, Kamasi, man. He was the one. He was the one that had Mason Cobb out there, and we were all FaceTiming. I was able to put that footage on here. Kamasi's tapped in with the program, tapped in with a lot of players, especially a lot of former players, man. He's my guy, man. Much love to my guy, Kamasi. Question, Oscar, what's up, family? How's going to be the MVP for on the offense and defense? Oh, who's going to be the MVP? Wow, that's a loaded question. Oh, for the LSU game. Wow, that's a loaded question right now. You know, here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say the MVP is going to be a defensive player, and the reason I say that, well, excuse me, a person in the secondary. The reason I say that because Musfire, and we'll get into his film, we'll start talking about it, but he's a guy that likes to get the ball. I watched the Wisconsin game, and he's a guy that likes to gunsling it. So I'm gonna say Ramsey. I'm gonna say Kamari Ramsey is going to be the MVP of the LSU game from a defensive perspective, and from the offensive perspective, I'm going to flip it to Miller Moss, and I think Miller Moss could have the same type of performance that he had against Louisville. He could gunsling it down there. I don't think LSU. I think their defensive backfield is one of the weakest positions that they have. Their secondary, I believe that's kind of and I'm not saying they're weak, but I'm saying that's the weakest position on their field is the defensive backfield. So I think we can exploit that. And I think if Miller Moss can do the same thing he did against Louisville, I believe he could be the MVP. So that's my answer to that, my man. What's up, my guy? What's up, family? What's the word? So look, man. Hey, Jay, thank you for everything. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you too, family. Coach Lincoln Riley is known for reconfiguring and recalibrating the system. Hey, absolutely, man, to fit whoever is the QB offense. Totally agree with you. Lincoln Riley is the quarterback guru, man. No doubt about it. So look, man, I just wanted to, Woody Marks, that's a great one. And Mason Cobb, MVPs. I'll take that in a minute. I will take that in a minute. Nico, what's up, my man? Nico, how you doing, man? Hey, absolutely. It is Miller time, family. It's Miller time. Nuss and Perkins. Hey, look. Hey, I know you're an LSU guy. I see that LSU Tiger eye. But listen, we coming, big dog. We coming. I hope you guys are not sleeping on us, man. I really hope you're not sleeping on us. Lucky number 7 in Vegas. Hey, but I appreciate you tapping in, man. Appreciate you coming in, man. I think the O-line will be the MVP for the LSU game. I think the linebackers will be the MVP. Hey, I'm with that. Hopefully so, man. Hopefully so. 11-1. The loss is to Maryland. Wow. Lost to Maryland. Hey, I like 11-1 though. Good to see you full energy. Hey, man, it's straight up go time, family. I appreciate you. Jay, glad you're doing well. Hey, all is well, my brother. All is well. So, look, I just want to tap in, man. I should be – hey, it's going to be a great game, man. I totally agree. And listen, I don't know how old you are, but if you're young or if you're old, but look, LSU and USC, you remember we should have played years ago for the national championship. You know, we ended up getting co-championships back in the day. But look, this is it's about to be history, man. I consider LSU one of those storied programs, man. No doubt about it. We can argue up and down that they're just as much as wide receiver, DBU. I mean, look, I think we're wide receiver U, but LSU's had some great wide receivers. They've had some great DBs. I can't argue or knock LSU history, man. It's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be exciting. I think LSU travels incredibly well. So look, man. Hey, may the best man win. I think we're going to win, but may the best man win. Hey, fight on. Melvin McGee, fight on, family. Fight on. Miller, you say MVP for defense and MVP for offense is Miller and Achille Arnold. I can't argue with that one. I like it. LSU allowed over 500 yards of total offense to unranked Wisconsin. Yeah, the Wisconsin team that got beat by Washington State. Yeah, that was crazy. But we'll see what happens, though. 9-3 realistically. Hey, the game will come down to the moment too big for relatively young team. No, I think we winning this thing, big dog. I think we winning. So look, I am out of here. Solo is going to come back. Hey, look, that'll be a great story. Great story, man. And by the way, I heard he's doing some great things right now. So look, man, I appreciate everybody. We just wanted to talk about Miller Moss, officially now QB1, MVP. All right. Hey, one thing I can say, and Brian, shout out to you. One thing I can say about Deuce Robinson and Jacoby Lane, Miller Moss a couple times threw some 50-50 balls, but you throw 50-50 balls to guys that are that tall, 6'6" and 6'4". So to your point, it's a possibility that Deuce Robinson could be an MVP because all you got to do is throw that 50-50 ball and throw it high enough to where Deuce can get that. And hey, look, it's nothing that LSU receivers can do about a 6'6" receiver. So I'm not gonna argue with that one. Linebacker, slot or linebacker, no, they can't. They will be lost in the sauce. Hey, Jacoby Lane too, same thing. USC wins by 10. Yeah, I got a score prediction that popped in my head today. I'm not saying it's my final, but I'm thinking 41-28 USC. Hey, look, LSU fan, I know you in here, and I know it sounds crazy, but listen, man, I think a lot of Paul Feinbaums of the world, I think they're underestimating USC. I think the SEC countries, underestimating USC. I think the narrative about USC is just terrible, and I think they're about to find out, honestly. Thank you for a great coverage. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Deuce is not only tall, he got the scoop. Yeah, he can scoop, man. No doubt. He got the series speed. No doubt about it. And do you realize that, when he ran that up the seam middle in the Holiday Bowl, how he pulled away from that receiver? I mean, he was absolutely pulling away. So look, shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in. We just wanted to touch on this. I'm not doing a video tomorrow just because I'm going live. I'm gonna let this video carry over till tomorrow. A lot of people that don't expect me to come on at this time, they will see this video carry on. So look, I appreciate everybody tapping in. Really appreciate everybody for coming in. We got around 500 people in here, and I appreciate it. Hey, Aaron, the world is about to find out. I totally agree, my man. Totally agree. Pedro, the games SC will struggle with, Rutgers, Wisconsin. Yeah, one of those games, but I think we can win those games. I think we could. Zach Branch, MVP. Hey, man, would it set the tone for the game if Zach Branch just ran one back just with that explosiveness that he got? Hey, I can't argue with that one. I cannot argue with that one. Zach Branch is the truth. His health will be in jeopardy if Mason Murphy starts. I'm not sure. We'll wait. The depth chart, by the way, let me announce this now. The depth chart is coming out Wednesday. They should announce it. I told you guys today in the video that it will be here this week because it's mock game week. So look, man, I'm about to get out of here. I don't think LSU will score. I hope it's that way. I picked 41-28, but I hope it's that way. 21 points, I'll take that in a heartbeat. After that happens, you know what? The world will be shivering there. They'll be shaking in their boots. So look, man, I'm out of here, man. God bless everybody, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Miller Moss is QB1. No, we're not sleeping on him. Eastern Master, he's a monster. But Miller Moss is QB1. It's straight up go time. It's on and popping. USC officially has their starting quarterback. That's what we're talking about today. I appreciate all the guests for tapping in who make this show what it is. God bless you too, my brother. Until later on, everybody stay blessed. No video tomorrow. This will carry over to tomorrow. Until later on, fight on, fight on, fight on.